Good afternoon. I would first like to thank the Optimist Club and Larry Perkins for the distinct honor of being a part of the district level competition and having the platform to speak to you this morning. I would like to share my experience participating in and being named the 2018 Optimist International World Oratorical Champion. My experience with the competition began a little over a year ago when my AP literature teacher, Dr. John Casadas, encouraged me to participate. I was fighting an internal battle and needed to approach it with optimism, and it just so happened to occur during the time of the competition. About a month prior to having to deliver my speech for the first time at the local level, I suffered a major rugby injury. My right leg was broken. I needed surgery which required 2 plates and 6 screws in my right leg. At that time, I can say I was more pessimistic than optimistic. I am generally a positive, optimistic individual, but I lost something that I truly enjoyed and would not be able to complete the season. Not only that, but I had to compete in an oratorical contest without being able to stand on my own 2 feet. I was used to the stage through my work in theater, but this was not something I was used to. After the club level, myself and another competitor went on to compete at the zone level. The competition was strong. I had to deliver my speech from a knee scooter. I listened to the other competitors who delivered great speeches. They were poised and confident. I listened to them and thought about how my experience in the competition and journey would be one short-lived. However, when my name was called as one of the 2 winners, my dad and I both said, "Wow," at the same time. That feeling was unexplainable. Next came the district competition in this very spot, the Opera House in Sumter, South Carolina. This time, I could leave my knee scooter behind and walk in my walking boot. I was nervous for the challenge ahead. It was a new experience for me, but I let my passion take precedence over my nerves. I was moved when I looked out into the audience and I could clearly spot not only my family but my AP literature teacher. He made the trip all the way from Charleston, South Carolina to Sumter, South Carolina to support me in my efforts. That and looking into my mother's eyes while delivering my speech as if I was speaking directly to her is what I attribute my success with the state level competition. I was overcome with an overwhelming and again an unexplainable feeling. I was aware of the words I was speaking, but did not realize just how passionate my delivery was. After the competition, competitors and parents all sat together in a dining hall prior to the announcement of the winners. I was glad to get to meet with other dynamic young people from across our state. Students that were making an impact in their own environment. Students who valued success just as much as I did. It was both a difficult and exciting challenge to compete against those who were trained to deliver speeches. When it came for the awards, I was proud to be announced as the competitor to advance to the world competition. I was also proud to win the state title and share my success with my family and friends. However, I immediately began looking towards the challenge ahead. Rather than fly, my family decided we would drive from the South to the Midwest. We would take 2 days to complete the 13-hour one-way trip to St. Louis University in Missouri so that I could speak on the same stage as Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. In 1964, 2 days before he won the Nobel Peace Prize, and 2 months after having delivered his iconic I Have a Dream speech. When I arrived at St. Louis University to register for the regional and world competition, I walked into a room of several different people from different cultures, people from various backgrounds, from different parts of the world, different countries, homes, and what I found the most intriguing was that we were all in one central location to deliver a personal message about the power of optimism. This 2-day competition would be the same one that opened my eyes to so many different perspectives, dealing with the common principle of remaining optimistic during even the hardest of times. There was not one single moment where my parents failed to let me know just how proud they were of my efforts and accomplishments thus far. They made sure to instill in me that though I was presented with a larger platform with almost 3 times the amount of competitors that I competed against at the lower levels, I was my only competition. And my goal was to be better than I was before. My purpose was to inspire the audience. I took that lesson and practiced my delivery and memorization all night. I made sure to meticulously rehearse every breath I could take and emphasize any and every word I could in order to perfect my speech. When it came time to deliver for the regional level, things felt different. I delivered my speech as best as I felt possible. I was competing in the Southeast region with a group of extremely talented speakers. Our region was considered to be one of the toughest. After our region was done, it was time to leave for the evening, and my family and I were left to wait until the following day to hear the results. The next morning, I sat with my family, grasping my mother's hand, awaiting the results, as she assured me that even if I did not win the region, I made her more than proud. The words, "And from the Southeast region, Caleb Smith," were spoken, and I struggled to stand up from my chair. My knees were weak from shock and disbelief. I looked my mother in her teary eyes, and I said, "We did it." And she gave me an embrace and a kiss on my forehead and motioned me to receive my reward. When I came back to the table, all I could manage to do was thank God, family, friends, and everyone who assisted me in going so far in the competition. After celebrating my regional win, it was then time to prepare for the world competition. I was excited for the opportunity to compete for the championship, but I was more thrilled to be able to speak to the world. We drew letters to determine the order in which we spoke. I would be Speaker F. When my letter was called, I stood up from my chair, did a quick mic check, and I took the stage. Walking to my designated spot on stage felt like I was almost in slow motion. I was again overcome with some feeling of assurance and compassion. From the very first word of my speech, it was almost as if my heart was speaking for me. It was the first time that I looked everyone in the room in the eye and connected with the audience on a personal level. I felt like I was motivating each person in the audience, as Gandhi said, to be the change they wanted to see. I saw head nods of affirmations, which inspired me even more. There was one point in the speech where I felt my words so authentically that I teared up. I believe so much in serving others and working together to achieve a common goal. I believe so much that optimism has the ability to open all doors, from the door to forgiveness, the door to power, the door to acceptance, the door to unshameful love, the door to success. I believed in everything that I wrote, and with my passion, my delivery was uncompromising. After giving my speech for the last time, I walked back to my chair and saw tears in my mother's eyes once again. I sat in my chair realizing that I would be satisfied regardless of the outcome. There we were, awaiting the results of the final competition. My mother's hand was in mine, father's arm around my shoulder, and my little sister hugging my torso. There were several parents in the audience who told me that I did an amazing job delivering my speech, assuring me that my speech was inspiring. I gave all glory to God for my accomplishments thus far and told him thank you for everything, even if I didn't win the championship. After a few moments, my family and I heard the words, "And from Charleston, South Carolina." And immediately we were overwhelmed with joy. My mother uncontrollably crying, my father tearing up no matter how much he denies it, and my little sister cheering, "Good job, Caleb." I hugged and kissed them all and walked towards the stage where my first place trophy and scholarship check were waiting for me. I didn't know how to feel, whether to be happy or thankful. All I knew is that my life story from then on would include having been named the 2018 Optimist Oratorical World Champion. After the 2-day trip home, I returned to a warm welcoming. The word got around that I brought a world championship title home to Charleston, and before we knew it, several news stations wanted to speak with me about my journey with Optimist International. A couple months later, I was told City of Charleston Mayor John Tecklenburg was issuing a proclamation that August 29, 2018 would be Caleb Avery Smith Day. In addition to that, Mayor Bill Woolsey of the town of James Island would also be issuing a proclamation. Besides recognition from my city, winning the world competition meant that I would win a total of $22,500 in scholarships. This scholarship made paying for college much less stressful financially. I am currently enrolled in Oglethorpe University in Brookhaven, Georgia, where I am a freshman theater and film major. I hope to become a professional actor and creative director. I believe that competing in the Optimist Club International Oratorical World Championship has helped me take another step toward my career goals. I would like to thank Optimist International for giving the youth the opportunity to articulate their thoughts on a worldly recognized platform. I would also like to thank the West Ashley Optimist Club and Dr. Al Eads in Charleston, South Carolina for being the club that sponsored the contest in which I started. I had an amazing experience and would recommend as many young people as possible to compete and use the platform to inspire the world with their words. Another important point that I wanted to make to the youth is that if you are not declared as the winner to advance to the international contest, it does not mean that you have done anything wrong thus far. Your words still matter. They still carry more weight than you would believe and have the potential to change at least one person's life or perspective in this world. The world that we live in today is not filled with many people who have the mental and emotional drive to leave a positive impact on this world. And the world that we live in today is not filled with those people that leave a positive impact on mankind or the world. You all that just gave speeches to this audience are the future of our world and should never doubt your potential nor ability. Always speak your mind like it is the last time you will be able to express your truth. Thank you.